We need to talk. This release of this newest Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends VA. Oh my gosh, sorry, my I had something in it. Pokemon Legends ZA has sparked a great deal of controversy, as does every single Pokemon game in existence. Here's the scoop, though. There are a couple of actually, I think most people who are playing the game actually have a lot of positives to say about it. Most people. However, there are a lot of other people who are complaining about the dumbest, stupidest, nitpicky things. Now, I welcome people. And actually, you know what? Nah, if I call it bullshit, let me just say it like this. This company makes a lot of money. The Pokemon company, that is, makes a lot of money. Not Nintendo, but the Pokemon company, which Nintendo has ownership of. Doesn't matter. Point is that the Pokemon company makes its money from merchandise, from this and this, not from the video games. So for everyone who's saying that the games themselves should be better because the Pokemon company makes an absurd amount of money, I don't think you understand how their revenue stream works. It's pretty vast. It's a lot outside of these games. It makes them money. Don't worry about that. They will be fine. That being said, I wanted to address a couple of really stupid criticisms that I've heard after myself putting in 60 hours of gameplay, completing the Pokedex, and basically, I don't know what, I'm at research level 47, so I'm close to getting the shiny charm too. So I'm like 100% of the game, I guess, if you could say. And after all this time I spent with the game so far, I moved to Australia, if anyone's doing the math. Um, the first criticism, first off, the small open world, or small city, lack of an open world, I should say. I'll be frank. I hated Legends Arceus. Like, I don't use that word lightly, but I couldn't, I did not find general enjoyment in that game. I made it through a good chunk of the game, actually most of the way through the story of the game, when it first released, and I think just the general hype of the game carried me through a lot of it because it was a chore. Something happened in my old Switch I had. Long story short, got bricked. So I ended up losing that save file. Had to restart the game all over again. I did not feel excited to do that. I didn't feel like playing the game over again. I didn't feel like the gameplay loop was fun. Catching Pokemon in a vast open world with fuck all to do is dumb as shit. At me in the comments section. Your opinion is invalid if you think that a Pokemon has to be open world because and fill it with nonsense, because that's what open world means, right? In the year of our Lord 2025, you don't get to have an open world game that also has an abundance of things to do in it. No, not unless you're CD Project Red or you're I don't know, Rockstar, right? And even then, it's like those guys have been doing that kind of work for a long time, and it's like the world and the environment that you are in has never, hear me, it has never been a focus of a Pokemon game. Never in the history of Pokemon has the actual world that you're in been any sort of importance at all. It was always just a thing. And to anyone who's saying, "Oh my god, there was always so much to do," and what, I don't know, what was the best Pokemon game of all time? People will say off the top of your head, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, right? Everyone will say it. Put a gun to your head. Heart Gold, Soul Silver. That game had literally nothing to do in the towns. Each town consisted of a Pokemon Center or Pokemon and maybe a thing, an important item, NPC, whatever to talk to. That was it. You move on. Awesome, catchy themes, of course. But admittedly speaking, the world themselves were not a focus. Like you had two houses. Did we had anyone complaining back in 2004 that the Game Boy Advance wasn't living up to its expectations of graphical fidelity because the buildings were square? Oh my god, the windows and the puddles. I mean, I remember actually that was a feature that they added, and like you could see reflections in the puddles, and that was like a big thing for them. People were like, oh my god, this is so cool, so much lifelike. And it's like that was like the bar for us being happy back then, right? Fast forward to now, you got dumb motherfuckers online complaining about the goddamn windows of the buildings. Oh, everything looks gray. Everything looks dry. Have you been outside in 2025? Everything's fucking gray. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, now in outside of that, I mean, personally, my complaint was the architecture of the buildings, where everything, all the rooftops were just flat. Like every day it rains, you guys are gonna have like roof infrastructure problems up to wazoo. But it's, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is that the game world itself is magnificently abundant with things to do. There are mega shards to go find. There are wild Pokemon within the city. There are wild zones of the city. There are NPCs to talk to. They just have random speech bubbles. Some do, others you can talk to. There are restaurants you can go into to like have Pokemon battles because you don't actually like eat in the game. But they have like, you know, cafes you can sit at, take pictures with your Pokemon, go for strolls with your Pokemon. Not strolls, but like sit at park benches with your Pokemon. Actually, yeah, you can go for strolls on Pokemon because that's another feature that no one's talking about. But you can, which they took out of, sort of modified in Scarlet and Violet. You can have your Pokemon out with you in Scarlet and Violet, but they could not interact with the world really in any meaningful way. They could interact, or the environment. They can interact with like different Pokemon and do like the whole, you know, quick battle thing, but that was about it. Here it's so much more varied, and you have like the parkour stuff littered around the world and everything. I could go on and on, but there's a lot of things to do in the game. It's dense. So anyone who's saying like, oh my god, so you have, you know, like the rooftops to explore later on in the game, spoiler. I mean, I'm a not spoiler. I'm a spoiler everything. Actually, I'm just gonna go full on spoilers if I haven't said that already. Full of spoilers in this video. You can go above rooftops, below sewers, explore in places that you would normally think to explore in a fucking city. It just makes sense. And I don't know, man. Like the complaints are, you guys are fucking idiots. Like I'm not trying to defend the Pokemon company, but I'm defending the criticism because I want the criticism to be fair of, and again, of a Pokemon game. And I'm gonna keep saying that phrase because I'm comparing this to a Pokemon game. Whereas all these Pokemon YouTubers or people who say they're fans of the franchise are comparing Pokemon to games I alluded to earlier, like Grand Theft Auto or Cyberpunk 2077, and you're like, that's an open world. Why can't Pokemon do this? That Pokemon world, that shit only exists in your fucking head, dude. Like all that like magical, mystical, wonderful fields of like vast open spaces littered with Pokemon and things to do, and like that's only in the fucking anime and in your fucking head. We're honestly, I don't know if we're ever gonna get a game like that. To be fair, I don't know if I even want a game like that because it seems like too big of a hurdle. Like how everyone asked for Ultimate, and it was like, oh my god, Smash Ultimate, put every fucking prominent video game character of all time in it. Where do you go from there? What's left to grow? It's like if you, which is what. All right, whatever. I'm getting off track. Point is that if that's a complaint, dumb complaint. You're not dumb, but that's a dumbass complaint. Second, well, actually, I kind of talked about it, but graphics. You know, my big thing to take away and remember about graphics here, right? You know what the most important thing about a Pokemon game is? I'll give you a hint. Go ahead. Take a hint. Go ahead. Guess what is it? It's the Pokemon! The Pokemon are the most important thing in a Pokemon game. Not the environment, not the windows, the fucking railings, not not the gray city, not like, and then like, to be, oh my god, the Pokemon models look fantastic. I played on the Switch OLED. I should say that, by the way. The Switch OLED looked amazing, just just awesome. If you played Scarlet and Violet on the Switch, it at release date, and you had issues with it, I did not. But if you had issues with it, if you thought it looked bad, you're going to be very, very happy with this game. I did not have issues with Scarlet and Violet. I played through it and had a wonderful time. I played through this game and had an even better time. So, like, the character models are great. Customization was awesome. The Pokemon models are good. Shut the fuck up. Shut all the and the effects for the attacks. My gosh, like the particle effects, even on like the OLED popped, man. Like the particle, like on the screen, like handheld, the particle effects look, mwah, very nice, very nice. I don't like fuck what everyone says. I'm an old school gamer. My first games were red, red and yellow. So it, the fuck y'all talking about? Shut up. The gameplay loop, amazing. You could play this. I mean, okay, so it was like catching, battling. I'll get into the battle system in a second, but the act of going through the world, um, is, how the game opens up, and it, like, okay, I guess, like, as a complaint, since I'm glazing this game so hard, as a very fair criticism, the on rail tutorial took like 3 hours of that 60-hour gameplay time for me. That was far too much. I was trying desperately to get off of the rails at every chance I could, or I thought I could, and the game was like, nah, go do the story thing, and learn how the world works before you go on to the open world shit. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, I want you to let me just organically learn and mess things up. But then, like, same time, you want your audience to know what it is they're doing, so they're not frustrated or missing out on things they should be paying attention to. Which so I get it, but I want them to kind of yada yada past that. At the same time, giving us a lot of freedom. But how they're introducing a new battle system, I didn't necessarily mind it at the same time. So it's a complaint, but I live with complaint. But if you want a criticism, there you go. Shut up. Now I think that we have like a lot of things to love about the gameplay loop, because Arceus was trash in my opinion. Fuck your opinion. That game was garbage. Catching Pokemon 30 times over to complete one Pokedex entry, I want to shoot myself in the face. No, 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 no. From a completionist standpoint, that game was awful. I'm not, and to be fair, I'm not even a completionist, but just like the idea of catching them all, right? I don't like, what are we doing that we have like a bajillion fucking Badoos that, like, what we catch, and then like we, I don't know, what was it, like the grind up in the candy thing that Pokemon Go started, and it's just like this catching a bajillion Pokemon of like one species is like nauseating to me, and I hate it. Like the concept of it, from a mobile game standpoint, I get, leave it in a mobile game. Don't bring that shit over to anywhere near a controller based game ever. Period. The game should be about, you catch a Pokemon, multiple. Sure, yeah, you want to have like a little team of EVs, whatever, 8, 9, go shiny hunting, sure, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm not complaining about that. My point is it for completing the Pokedex, it should not be necessary for me to catch, battle, do a whole. Now for the shiny charm, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind grinding 1,000 battles or catching like 50 psychic types or 50 water types or whatever. I don't care about any of that for a shiny charm. But to complete the Pokedex, just throwing a Pokeball, catching them, if you succeed in the capture, that should suffice. Period. Full stop. This game nailed that. Arceus sucked. This game nailed that. And the battle system, that was catching Pokemon like during the day. They have, or before I get to the battle system, the side quests were plentiful, varied, hilarious. The writing was awesome, and I'm gonna get to the writing in a second. But like, people lack of voice acting, but the writing of this game was better than a lot of Pokemon games. Actually, better than any Pokemon game on the Switch. Period. Full stop. That's a fact. Sword and Shield was very handholdy, and it's the way it talked to its player. and very much treated him like a child and like the worst kind of way. And I think Sword and right, Scarlet and Violet did the same thing, but you're a kid in school, so right. This game is like you're a kid, but they treat you with the urgency and respect that you've earned through, I don't know, just like I'd say being a general kid person, but like it seems like everyone in the world kind of just respects you as a person on an individual level. And I think that spending time exploring the city, seeing all these side quests, talking to NPCs, catching all these hidden Pokemon, uh, and listening to the music, 'cause the music is phenomenal. Repetitive as fuck because you're only obviously hearing like the one main city theme, which is another complaint of mine. I wish they had like more very different, music things. But the day night cycle that they force you to go through, which is I think in like 15 or 20-minute intervals or something like that, is totally fine. It is, granted, it is annoying when you're like trying to do a thing, but because you have or a bench system where you can toggle it on and off yourself, I don't see why it's a problem. If you didn't have that bench system there and you were forced to go through the day night cycle, forced to wait 15 minutes in real time before like nighttime hit for whatever reason, that would be a complaint. But they got rid of that. I don't get it. Shut the fuck up. Now, like, and again, that's just like the catching, battling, and all that stuff. And I fell in love with the city. I thought it was cool. I liked the story. I actually liked, and then you love the story. I loved. Love is a strong word. I liked a lot of the story. Very fiercely liked it. It was by and large my favorite story they've done with a Pokemon game in a sequel. Yeah, my favorite sequel of a Pokemon game that they've ever done. Um, and I very much enjoyed all the characters. Like I think like Tawny was awesome because obviously played this guy. Not obviously, but whatever. Tawny was awesome. The Corbo, I haven't always pronouncing his name right, but that guy from the Rust Syndicate, he's awesome. The fighting dojo guys, they're awesome. Gwen and Ivor. I very much enjoyed Canary, whatever her name is, the streamer girl and her grandpa. Uh, just they had so many memorable characters and moments and scenes in this game where I genuinely laughed and was like, "Oh, this is awesome." But no one really talks about that at all. I hear, a lot of the complaints about the game are coming from just the windowsills. And okay, again, I'm running long on this video. I'll do this real quick. But the battle system is phenomenal. Yeah, if you haven't played it, you have to try it yourself. Is I was nervous. I didn't know how it was going to translate because I'm not a huge fan of action. Or if you've ever played Astral Chain, on the Nintendo Switch, you get it. You'll get it. You'll get it. It'll click immediately for you. The face buttons, mapping them out and different moves, and it's Austin John has like a really good recommendation on how to like structure your move sets out. I'd recommend watching his videos and stuff. But it's flawless. It looks amazing. But the battle system, it's just nothing but great things to say about it. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, the lack of voice acting. I get it. I get it. I get it. Learn to fucking read. I know that's your problem. And more accurately, I mean, because your excuse is, oh my god, they get to these big cutscenes and everyone's like, and it's you're like, oh, this is awkward, right? I get it. Yeah, but not really, because like I don't how many, and please don't fucking lie about this, because I've on over the last few days have seen so many internet YouTubers, Twitch streamers, people existing playing this game doing the silliest personal voice acting, and inserting themselves into each one of these characters and like giving them their own personalities and imagining how they would talk, their different inflections. And everyone who plays this game does that shit. That's why there's no voice acting in this game. I don't understand. Okay, no, I do understand. I mean, I say I don't understand. I understand. I understand the complaints, but because like I Baldur's Gate 3, duh. I understand the complaints. You could do it. You can do it. They have it. They even have voice acting in Pokemon Masters, so I get it. But that being said, like guys, the you know what voice acting does to a game though too, that no one wants to talk about. It makes replayability that much tougher. Let's be real. How many times have you gone through, I don't know, your favorite RPG and like, I don't know, probably verbatim you can like, say the lines of the next cutscene coming up or something like that. How many times do most people just like skip over cutscenes after they've experienced it the one time, right? And then like while you're in the overworld and you have like voice acting, how many times are you hearing like the same sort of like ah ah for 60 hours, for for 60 fucking hours, or we just hear like some dumb battle cry whenever we mega evolve, like, oh, mega evolve, mega evolve, mega evolve. Like that would drain into your fucking psyche. Okay, like I get it. Think about how voice acting would actually be implemented in the game like this, and then come back and tell me if you actually want voice acting in a Pokemon game. And again, in a Pokemon game, I'm not talking about like any other type of game. These games, I'm not. Oh, the games are meant for children. No, 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 no. These games are meant for everyone, which is why there's no voice acting. People can there's so many languages in this game that I think Pokemon has like the most languages like internationally for like the releases for the games than like any other game I can think of off the top of my head. This franchise is worldwide. There's a lot of people who play this game outside of the English speaking assholes who are complaining about this shit. And even foreign Pokemon YouTubers and content creators self insert their own voices and voice acting into the game as they're playing, and they read and have their own inflections, and it's like, unless you are allergic to picking up a book or you are literally illiterate, shut all the way the fuck up. Your complaint's invalid. I get it. I get it. But this is a Pokemon game. If they ever put voice acting in it, I'm not going to say, oh my God, they're going to like ruin the experience. But I would pray to God that they give you the option to turn that shit off. Because like, as coming from a person who's actually spent hundreds of hours in other RPGs before, I promise you, hearing battle cries of a character for hundreds of hours over and over again will get annoying. I don't like, for the one cutscene that you see a few times over, it's fun, it's cool, sure, I'll give you that. Voice acting cutscenes, leave it sparing, but like throughout the whole game, it's a switch I don't want to toggle. I just don't. I just don't. So for if that's your complaint about this game, if any of these things bother you about the game, and you're like, oh my God, I can't deal with any of that stuff, don't play the game. If you see other people enjoying the game, shut the fuck up and let them enjoy the game. If you want to enjoy the game, or if you just want to have joy in your life, then find something else to love, or play this game and find joy. Done.